What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. Let's get started. Let's not waste any time at all. We're going to go over some price predictions for the coming days, coming weeks, coming months, man. We're going to do it right now. From a relative high to a relative low back in February 21 to May of 2022, our last cycle's high to low. We're in this really productive fib structure where we've gone from our 382 to our 236, up to our 0.5, back to our 382, up to our 618, and then up here we consolidated, found support on our 886 twice, and now we're in our extended area. We tipped the golden ratio, the 1618, that's the golden ratio there. We literally tipped it and pulled back from there, finding support on the 1414, literally right here, finding support on the 1414. If we're looking at this on a daily basis, this whole time that we've been consolidating, the RSI has pulled back out of the overbought zone. It's actually seen lower lows, while the price has actually seen higher lows. This is a really bullish thing. Whenever you cool off your indicator, but you're still building price, just imagine your indicator's going down, you're building higher lows. What's going to happen when the indicator goes up? It's going to be eruptive, explosive. It's going to be phenomenal and great. It's going to be good. We're at $392 now. I don't think that we go too much lower. I think that if we were to go lower, maybe we go as low as like 366, 376, 380. We're at 392 now. We might not go lower at all, for that matter. We might not fill this gap, but maybe that's exactly what we do. We go to fill that gap, hit 370 or something like that, continue to consolidate. I don't expect MicroStrategy to break out by the end of this week, though it could. Tomorrow being Friday, right? Is tomorrow Friday? Yeah, tomorrow being Friday could be a very bullish finish to the week. If we look at the weekly candle itself, having a green week would be nice. But I would expect starting next week, we do start to break away from this kind of symmetrical triangle that we have here, this little zone, this nose, whatever you want to call it, this broadening wedge, I don't know, whatever pattern it is. I think we're going to start to break away from it to the upside and head to our next target destination, which being at 392, our next target destination, looking at the fib levels that we're at now, would be $994. That's the minimum expected target area. You're at $392 now. Your minimum expectation would be $994, and likely you make that move by the end of January 2025. Likely MicroStrategy is going to gain another 152%. I was going to say 1.5%, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. I was trying to say 2.5x and then 150% at the same time. I got all distracted there, but you're probably going to move up that much over the next month and a half. That's my thoughts. If we take this relative high to low here, that 1886, it's not really surrounded by any relative fib ranges. These are getting pretty deep. Normally when you get to the deeper ranges like this, these threes, the 3113 and the 3618 are the most common ones to hit. And that 1886 literally splits it. So I guess if anything, that doesn't really help us. It just confirms that we're probably going to see that target area. Looking at the daily RSI, I really like the RSI. I think it looks fine. I think it looks phenomenal. 3-hour RSI looks good too, very bullish. I like that the volume is dying off in this consolidation phase, right? We're coming to the end of it for sure. I don't really know if I have anything else that I want to add, you guys. Next target is $994, basically $1,000. I don't know if we break $1,000. I wouldn't be surprised if we do. But don't be surprised if we fall just shy. Just because this is the target doesn't mean we have to hit it. We could fall just shy and hit $900, maybe $950. If anyone's looking to take profits at these areas, I know we talked about that a little bit. Some people have been asking questions about that. If you want to take profits up there, this is how I would do it. Okay, if I was doing this is how I would do it. If I saw 994 as the next target, and we're at $392 now, and I wanted to sell, this is my target area to sell. I wouldn't sell there. I would sell just lower. So if 994 is the target area, I might start selling at 950 or 930 or 900 itself or anything in between. That's kind of my opinion. You don't catch everything. You don't get the exact top, but you at least get out around the top, right? Imagine, if you would, that MicroStrategy topped off here and it went all the way down like this. Do you think it really matters to anybody when the price is at $30, $39, if you sold at $392 or if you sold at $500 or $543, right? These are a lot bigger differences than what I'm talking about being at like 950 to 900 versus 994, right? So if you're looking to take profits, I do believe we get there. We might even exceed it. Again, we could go as high as 1300 by the end of January, honestly. It's hard to say. But the consolidation that we see afterwards, I would expect is probably going to be larger than what we've experienced here, right? It might be more on par with something like this. Okay, so, and well, probably not, right? I don't think it's going to be this long, but something more on par, maybe like with half that, something like that, right? A more serious consolidation phase than what this is. That's all I'm trying to say. And that would probably bring the price down lower. So even if you sold here or at $900, you'd probably have an opportunity to buy again at cheaper levels. So, but if you're not taking profits, you don't want to play that game. You don't want to worry about that at all, which is probably the least headache, right? Then just expect the price to go here, expect that we find turbulence, maybe buy more on that turbulence, and then we're going to go up eventually. You know, I think that MicroStrategy will see these $2,400 to $5,300 targets. This is end of the cycle stuff, and I do believe that you'll see that. I mean, I did a video yesterday on MicroStrategy. You guys saw it, right? If you didn't see it, maybe go watch it. But we came up with a couple reasons why it might make sense to go all the way up to 10,000 by the end of the cycle. It could happen. It genuinely could happen. I think any and all of these targets are important to evaluate, right? Something between 2,400, as big of a range as it is, 2,400 to about $10,000 is your range. 24 to 9,800. That's your range. You're at 392 now. So if you want to take profits at 1,000 or 1,300, just make sure you get back in, right? And if not, it's probably the better idea because it's less headache. You're probably going to not make a mistake or try to play the game and lose, right? Most people that play the game, they do lose. So why, with that statistic, why would you want to do that? But if you want to play the game, go for it. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is kind of what I would expect it to look like. And then we move up. We probably go up to here or higher. But watch none of that happen. Watch, instead of us finding resistance here, we just go right up to the 2272. And then you're lucky if we pull back to the areas that you may or may not have sold at, right? And then by the end of the cycle, we go up to that $5,000 target or even that $10,000 target. Everything is right on track as it was supposed to happen. But instead of stopping here in this expected area, we went to the next expected area. It's the risky play. So if you want to take profits, anybody out there that wants to take profits, again, not financial advice, don't sell your whole bag. Maybe sell 10% of it. 20% of it, at the most 50%, right? You don't want to sell any more than that, unless you're just trying to get out. If you have like a small bag, you could. It's circumstantial. It's different for everybody. Use your own discretion, right? I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your babysitter. You're doing your own work, putting in your own orders, right? It's your money. It's your problem. It's making me have problems, man, just thinking about it. I would say it's probably a fine area to take profits. If I was looking to take profits, I think that's a fine area to take profits. But being that I expect MicroStrategy to double from there, essentially in price, at least double, if not more in price from there, I would not be tempted to sell there at all, personally. I wouldn't. But I'm a patient kind of person. I had this patience beaten into me cycle after cycle. Okay, it took years, but it got beaten into me. This kind of little move stuff doesn't engage me anymore. I will happily ride the whole thing out all the way up there. And I don't own any MicroStrategy, so what am I even talking about? But just talking about my own experiences with my own coins, right? Like Compound, for example, right? I didn't sell this high. I went through it, man. I endured all the pain just to get to these highs here. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to play the game, go for it. I wouldn't advise for it, but it's probably a good area to sell there. But if you sell, just make sure you get back in because we have higher prices to go to, 2,400 at a minimum, 10K at a maximum, likely somewhere in between. And besides me being dad and giving the general TA, I don't really have anything else that I want to say. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye. Might do a little bit extra here just for fun. I mean, there's more pointing toward that 5K area than there is the 10K area. It wouldn't really make sense to go to 10K based off of this fib here. But that 5K, dude, look at that. 1414 right with the 2618. Like 52, I could really see MicroStrategy hitting above 5K by the end of the cycle. So is it even worth playing the game down at these levels? I don't know, right? I don't know. For me, it never has been. I don't know about you, but if you can do it right and you can get back in, good. You know, I did with Dogecoin last cycle. I did play the game, and it worked out rather well. I literally actually sold. I'll show you guys. Let's see here. Go all the way back. All the way back. We got to zoom it a little bit. Let's see. Okay, right here. Boom. I sold this first peak and I sold the top, guys. Like I literally, it says 7 cents here. I think on Robinhood it was 8 cents, maybe. And then on Binance it was like 10 cents. I can't remember. But I literally sold the exact top. I got really lucky. I had, at the moment, at this point in time, I had a little bit of cash that I bought at 0.0078. I sold all of that I bought down there at the top here, and then I went ham at 2.5 cents, which is lower than this daily open down here. I went ham at 2.5 cents. I played the game, and then I didn't play the game anymore after that. I did it once, and I held. I just held after that, right? Sorry. It worked out for me, but it doesn't always work out, right? It can work out, and here I am preaching to not do that, even though I did that last cycle and it worked out. But just the thing is I got back in. It didn't even feel right to get back in. When I got back in, it felt like the price was going to keep going lower. But I figured, I'm like, man, I sold at 7 cents. I'm going to buy back below 2.5 cents, like or right at 2.5 cents. Like, why not? It can go lower. I doubled down. I made my money back, you know. So if MicroStrategy does what you think it's going to do and it tops off here, just make sure you double back, right? Make sure you get back in because you don't want to miss that move. It's not a bad thing to sell at the right times. It's just a bad thing if you don't get back in at the right times and it goes higher, right? You feel smart in this move, and then if that happens and you don't get back in, you feel dumb, right? I don't know. All right, for real though, I am done. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace out. Bye-bye.